A ver, ¿se oye bien? Sí, se oye bien. Carta cielo.
I have to say, you're a real lifesaver. Well then, see you next time.
¿Cómo puede llegar antes que nosotros?
You made it all the way to this skydom too? Boy, you really do get around. You might just say I'm everywhere. Everywhere the cash flows. Visit the Knick-Knack Shack for all your travel tasks. Right there makes some fighting mine weapons. Need some new gear.
Pues iremos a la forja.
You must be the ones Shiro mentioned. Let me take a peek at your gear.
I'm glad we know where to look if we need to sharpen our weapons. You can say that again. Now, back to goofing off. What should we do first? So many choices. Welcome, welcome. I have Nick. I love to barter. What can I trade you for? Never hurts to have some backup, right?
¿No está Kagli o estoy aquí? No, entonces debe ser que se une sola. Ah, sí está aquí.
since we met on Freno. With how much she knows about magic, I still can't believe she's younger than me.
Hey, what you looking at? Yeah! You dumb lizard! Ugh, for the millionth time, I ain't no lizard!
So, what you doing here?
Checking out the makeup selection.
Ooh, that's so grown.
An elegant lady knows the importance of looking her best.
I see. I still don't know anything about makeup.
You're naturally pretty, but a dab here or there could bring out a whole new...
Really?
I don't know. How about this? Next time we'll do with Rosetta's tutoring, of course. Aren't you curious how Lyria will...
Can't wait to see the new Lyria.
Gosh, I'll try not to
Gee, what a selection. I don't know what most of this stuff is for.
Catalina training again. Guess old military habits die hard, huh? If she hadn't betrayed the Earth State Empire to save Lyria, who knows where we'd be now?
Hi, Catalina. What you doing?
Thought I might get in some training. I once spent hours practicing my strikes.
Oh, no wonder you're a master swordswoman.
Not yet, I'm afraid. Maybe I'm halfway there at best.
You're no slouch either, buddy. But I wonder who's better, you or Catalina?
Probably Catalina.
It's hard to say at a glance, though it might be fun to cross swords sometime.
You mean like a sparring match? I wouldn't know who to root for.
Then why not both?
Oh, you're right. There's no rule that says I can only pick one side.
Captain, before we proceed any further, I have just one thing. Make sure to check our mastery points from time to time. Battles may begin to feel tense if we don't sharpen our skills.
Get it.
Good stuff. Can't wait to try this out.
I'll practice day and night. I mustn't fall behind our captain after all.
tour of the town.
Excuse me.
This'll be interesting. Ready for some action? I smell a new mission.
Huygens already, making connections with the locals. Methods aside, you did know all the talk in Auguste. Mercenaries sure are resourceful.
Ahoy, Captain. Enjoying yourself?
Oh, brother. At least one of us is, that's for sure.
Come here. Let you in on a tip I heard. Word is there's a village that runs a mining operation on a nearby island. It's got an altar dedicated to, get this, a primeval god. And when this god stirs up a wind, loads of ore gets exposed, ripe for the plucking. Then, this town takes those mined ores to make the finest jewelry. We'd be rich if we got in on the action somehow. Anyway, gonna stay put and sniff around. See you later, Captain.
¿Por qué han bajado los frames?
One more for the road.
What a cozy place. It's perfect for skyfarers.
Rackham headed straight for the docks, huh? He takes such good care of the Grand Cipher.
Sweet.
I guess after everything we've put her through, she deserves the TLC.
Airship of that size is a first for me, but I reckon I can handle.
Sorry for pushing you guys.
Shucks, it ain't nothing. I'll leave this spot empty, so go ahead and fly.
Thanks a million. I'll get right on it.
Rackham, hi.
Well, look who it is. I managed to find a place that can patch up the Grand Cipher. Just got done haggling with him.
I'm sorry the ship got hurt,
Whoa, what are you talking about? You had nothing to do with it.
but
Look, it was a random accident. No one could have known our dragon friend would go all crazy.
Wonder what upset Bahamut.
Beats me. I just hope it's not an omen of bad things to come.
Bajan los frames, pero...
No point losing sleep over
Por
what
un
ifs.
ya.
Let's just forget about it for now, okay?
Okay. Thanks for cheering me up.
There's that smile. Besides, we're in a new skydom. Let's see some more enthusiasm. Anyway, I'd better go move the Grand Cipher before anything happens. Go have fun. I got the ship covered.
The breeze feels almost welcoming, like an old friend.
Voy a mirar la configuración.
Nuru bailala. Llegada de Gerald / Tapia.
Vale, ya. Tranquilo, estoy reiniciando el juego. Que está cambiando un poco la configuración. A ver. Coloco esto por aquí. Acabo de empezar el juego, como quien dice. Yo un poco jugado.
The breeze feels almost welcoming, like an old friend. Hey,
Tiene una exclamación.
What can I do you for? And look! I just got some rare stuff! Not everyone gets to see the good stuff, you know.
what should we do first? So many choices.
Excuse me.
What's Rosetta doing? Probably better not to ask. Every rose has its thorns, and every primal beast has her secrets.
Vaya. Vaya, hombre.
Let's come back once we find a key.
Me falta la llave.
Hi, Rosetta.
Nice of you to drop by, Lyria.
Ahora sí que se mantiene a 60 FPS.
Actually, I wanted to ask you how I could help the crew.
Is that so? Well, I'd say there's no need to stress out about it.
But I want to be useful and do my share.
Oh dear. I think you might be overthinking this.
Bueno, sé que no son aptos para la batalla. Cuestionable.
Still, isn't there something I can do?
Let's see. Guidebooks are pretty useful. Ever thought about writing one?
Write my own guidebook?
Just jot down the fun things you've seen and done. Whatever you want to share with us.
Better than complaining all the time. That's like the opposite of being helpful.
You're right. Okay, I'll write the best guidebook ever.
I can't wait to read it. Such a refreshing breeze.
If you're done looking around, we can start heading to the meetup spot a little early. The meetup spot was somewhere around here, right? Are you done looking around?
Yeah, I think I've seen everything.
Same. Let's take a quick break while we wait for the others.
Look, it's the Grand Cipher.
Oh yeah! Rackham did say he'd bring her in for repairs.
Can I tell you something? I heard what you did when I was falling off the ship. I felt so happy knowing you sprang to my rescue. We've been through a lot together. Visited new islands, met new people. It hasn't always been the safest trip, but you've always been there to protect me. I just wanted to say thank you. And since our lives are intertwined, let's make the most of our journey together.
Yeah.
Now my face feels a little hot.
That's so true. Doesn't it smell nice?
Sure does.
Sorry. Kept y'all waiting. Cypher's officially in the shop.
Nice work. Thanks, Rackham. So, we've got time to burn, it seems. Anyone want?
Almost forgot this.
You guys hear that?
All right, I'm off. Pardon my rudeness.
Hey! I ain't no lizard!
It can talk?
I do beg your pardon. We didn't mean to startle you. And we certainly don't intend on starting any trouble. Actually, we're a crew of humble skyfarers. This is Vyrn. I assure you he means no harm. If anything, he's quite the lovable dragon once you get to know him.
You've got it all wrong, Catalina. I'm a cool dragon.
Huh. Skyfarers, you say? Oh, allow me to introduce myself. My name is...
Roland, you've got to help us. A tornado suddenly hit our village out of nowhere.
A tornado? But something have angered Tempeal's primal... Remain here in Folca.
I'll handle the rest. My apologies. It seems I'm needed elsewhere, so I'm afraid...
Hey, wait! He sure ran off in a hurry.
And I heard him say primal beast. We should follow him.
And also...
What?
There are still people stuck in Temple! Oh, what do we do? What do we do? So the altar suddenly lit up, you know? And the wind was like a whoosh! And that primeval god is not happy.
Slow down, take a few deep breaths, and tell me exactly what happened.
Okay, okay. I'm calm.
An altar, fierce winds, and what they call a primeval god. Sound familiar?
Yeah, it does.
Smells fishy. It's gotta be connected to Bahamut going ballistic on us.
That guy with glasses knows something we don't. Want to see if we can tag along?
He could lead us to a clue. What do you think?
Well, we can't ignore people in trouble.
Exactamundo.
Right then. I know what I have to do. Time to get moving.
Excuse me?
Ah, hello again. The situation is a bit... If you need something from me, can it wait? I must leave...
Then I'll cut to the chase. Allow us to join you.
Say that again?
It seems you're in a predicament.
I appreciate the offer, I really do.
You mentioned a primal beast, right? If that's the problem, we want to lend a hand.
We hit our own snag as soon as we arrived in this skydom. Bet you a round of drinks whatever you're facing has to do with us, too.
Simply put, our goals are aligned. It takes two to tango, wouldn't you say?
I don't know. Though, very well. I won't look again. Anything can happen out there. You should get organized. So then...
All right. So who are we calling to the front line?
Lead the way.
You can depend on me.
I compliment any bouquet.
See that counter? That's where we can pick up new quests. Let's check back often, okay?
You set. That dude's gonna need serious help fixing the tornado problem.
Pero se mueve solo.
chance, stranger!
What?
Got an order? Want your weapons tempered? I'll handle it. How about that? I'll handle it. Come back sometime.
Oh, are you a skyfarer, perchance? If you're looking for coin, I can help you find jobs from all over the skydom. So, would you be interested in taking a quest or two? Or, maybe more?
You think you know the sky and wind, but then you come to a foreign land, where unfamiliar songs on the air beckon you toward the unknown.
Adelina, where do you think this breeze
The wind rustled Lyria's hair affection from somewhere far, far. Much time has passed since Lyria and I escaped from the Erste Empire and met the captain. I found myself thankful that the sky has no limit, because no matter how many journeys I've made at her...
Ah, ya está.
Lyria and I first crossed paths when I was still a knight of Erste, and she... So you're Lyria. I was appointed to stay by her side. She reminded me of a beautifully crafted puppet. Never moved. Her expression was fixed, and her eyes were bright, but cold, moved to pity. I wanted at the very least I may as well have been talking to a doll. It wasn't until many days had escaped us that I realized Lyria was a real girl with a... So... I taught her to laugh when she felt through books and reverie. I taught her to long for the outside world. And when colors on a page were no longer enough, I took her hand and led her to the roof. The illustrations Lyria had seen were lovely. But the sky now stretching above her. And finally, her blue eyes shone. As if they were two patches of sky lit there, with the open air as our... Someday, we'll sail this endless world together.
Yeah.
As the bond between us grew, so did the cruelty of the... Lyria doesn't belong here. No, the shining empire I served now became to me a place clouded by doubt. Day after day, a battle raged within me. Between the men, one day, a memory of Lyria's response on the roof broke through like a clear ray of light.
Really? You...
I had made a vow. There was no more question. I took her hand once again. This time, not to simply gaze at the sky, but to leap into it. And I did it for myself.
Yeah.
If I hadn't met Master Zaka on that fateful... If he hadn't saved me... I'm from the Vaults Duchy, where the weather's sweltering all year long, thanks to a river of lava that... My hometown might not have been the most scenic place, but as long as I had mastered after traveling for so long, I can finally say that before I left on my journey, I was completely clueless. When my master went missing, I was looking for something. Anything that would help me find him. And that's the reason behind his disappearance turned out to be even worse than I could have imagined. The Earthstay had manipulated him into awakening the primal beast that had lain dormant. Fortunately, I was able to break through to him, thwarting the Empire's attempt to exploit. I learned that they were doing all sorts of horrible things, even to their own people. My master was a kind person who never hesitated to help those in need. And I couldn't just sit around when there was work. That's why I decided to join the crew. To stick it to those Empire jerks and get... A few years before I met the crew, I lost my parents to an epidemic. I mourned their deaths for who knows how long. I could barely even bring myself to face reality. With no living relatives in vaults, I was like a ship adrift at sea. I had nowhere to go, and until one day, my master reached out his hand to me. I was so depressed, I just kept staring at the ground. That gentle smile, there was something in his voice that made me look up. When I did, a beautiful bouquet. I had no idea how he'd done it, but I knew it must have been some kind of parlor trick. But he insisted it was magic, but it was just the magic I needed at that moment. He went on to show me all kinds of incredible spells, the likes of which Watching him made me smile at a time when I thought I'd forgotten how. My master would always say that magic exists. Something about that spoke to me. It made me want to become a mage. So I signed myself up as his disciple, begging him to teach me magic. After all, if he was right, that meant I had the potential to make people. One day, shortly after I joined the crew, I suddenly lost the... No matter how many times I tried casting a spell, the rest of the crew thought Master Zaka might have the answers I needed. So he said it'd been forever since I'd been back home. I opened my mouth to ask him about my problem, but when I saw how happy he looked, I promised him that I'd come back as a great mage. But there I was. The last thing I wanted was for him to be... Around that time, an epidemic returned to vaults. This wanting to keep it from spreading any further, my master headed to the clinic, but he ended up getting sick too. The source of the epidemic turned out to be an evil spirit that revealed itself to us right there in the clinic. That rotten creature had already taken my parents from me. I wasn't gonna let it take anyone else. Determined to make it pay, I'll never forget how it felt to watch, helplessly, as my parents' killer got away. Without my magic, I didn't see the point. All I could do was watch as my master suffered, withering away. Nothing had changed since that, you know? In search of a solution to my magic loss at the local library, I happened to come across a beautiful gold... That's when Master Zaka revealed that my mother had been on the verge of tears. I clenched my staff tightly in frustration. My beloved home and master were being threatened by a disease-spreading spirit. Just as I began feeling completely hopeless, the staff began to glow. Somehow I could feel it encouraging. So what if I couldn't use magic? Surely there were other ways to help everyone. Unable to stand around doing nothing any longer, when I finally tracked them down, they'd already been rendered powerless. That left me as the only person who could fight. It was that moment when I decided I was done. I'd promised myself a long time ago that I was going to use my magic to make people happy. Filled with newfound resolve, The voice told me to visualize the power flowing through me. As I did, I could feel magic. With my mom's help, I was able to defeat the evil spirits. As soon as it was gone, I turned to see the rest of the crew climbing to their feet, their symptoms gone. The power spread through the entire island of Valtstucci, eliminating the— Things were a little touch and go there for a while, but in the end, everyone pulled through. And I've been able to use I just know it's because my mom is watching over me through my staff. Thanks to her, I can keep traveling with the crew, using the staff she left me to bring out more smiles along the way.
Zega Grande, the Forgotten Skydom. As I gazed into its perennial blue, I reflected on my last time here. My memories of this place were distant, yet unforgettable.
Have you been here before, Rosetta?
Eventually, I'll share my tales of the captain's father and our journey together. But first, I would need to sort through my own emotions. It was here in the sky. I know. In the eyes of eternity, our time together lasted no longer than a blink. Yet his impact on me felt nothing short. Indeed, it wasn't nostalgia that I felt upon revisiting these skies. Rather, it was the significance of this place and all that transpired. During the war, primal beasts were exploited by the astral, withered and faded. One primal would eventually drift to Lumacier Archipelago, making a home for herself. Over time, she grew accustomed to the comforts of its forests and the serenity they offered. Centuries would pass until a young man stumbled upon her domain. She engaged him in a vicious battle, but was ultimately humbled, accepting her fate. She resigned herself. However, the man would sheath his blade, and, to her surprise, a primal beast was supposedly no more than an astral weapon. Beings born to be controlled, manipulated, and ill-used. She had never entertained the idea of something more. In fact, well, she did have a moniker, but it was a meaningless one. Perhaps out of pity, perhaps out of kindness. The man bestowed upon her a new Rosetta. It was his gift to her, one she would treasure and love. With every union comes an inevitable. When his journey neared its final chapters, as he took up arms against the god of destruction, I returned to the forests of Lumacier. After my return to the archipelago, I briefly longed for his companionship. But decades came and went, and one day I would encounter— There was no mistaking it. I realized at that very moment the time had come. He had entrusted this child to me from the ends of the sky. My heart swelled, but I concealed my excitement. Flashing not, but as I would join the up-and-coming Skyfarer's crew on the Grand Cipher for another journey across the skies. This time, during their travels, they would experience joys and triumphs. I continued to observe from afar, doing my best to obscure my roots were well planted in the past. Knowing what I knew, would I be able to act as a part of their crew in Earth? Before long, my ambivalence would come. My convictions had begun to waver. Of course, I was conscious of reality. I knew their journey. They would have to face the harsh life the skies had in store. And with our foes only becoming more and more cumbersome, even for myself, my presence on the Grand Cipher was inconsequential, and at worst, a hindrance. I thought if I weren't here, the captain, Io... Perhaps the time had come to retire to the forests once more. But as I was preparing to leave, Io grabbed my hand so sweetly, so innocently, and said she needed me to... I would be the bystander no longer. Everyone in the crew had a... Finally, I found my purpose. I was free to experience the sky. It wasn't duty or obligation that anchored me to this crew. It was love. I would leave no... Thus, our journey continued. Only this time I felt that I was a...
Have a nice day.